Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kalaima, Yehovah, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Mahal, Kakarash. The lines to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, GMS, do will all teach well. My brother out here, gonna be getting into it. These topics, to these news articles, into everything. We're just gonna wait and see if this article will come up. As we all know, today is New Year's, so I'm pretty much just gonna get into a New Year's video. We'll keep it brief, you know. I will close out and change locations if things get a little hectic. You know, it is New Year's after all, good people. So shit gets out of order, I will move, you know. Go someplace else, because this is America, this is New York. So we're gonna get into this.
What?
No, so I think they're gonna come.
Alright, none of this stuff is loading. I loaded this up yesterday. It's not working for some reason. That's alright. Have some things lined up anyway, so we're good. So let's just take a quick look at our notes to see what we're going to start off with. Alright, we'll start here. Might as well start here. I set up the order and everything yesterday, and I wrote some scriptures down. We'll go into it. You know, as I said before, I don't have the exact time for when this lesson will end, this camp will end. I'll go until, you know, I hit my message and I get my my thoughts out, things that I got to the Holy Spirit yesterday, you know. So this is Britannica.com. Why does New Year start on January 1st? So, in many countries, the New Year begins on January 1st. However, this wasn't always the case. In fact, for centuries, other dates marked the start of the calendar, including March 25th and December 25th. So how did January 1st become New Year's Day, right? So we can partially thank the Roman king Numa Pompilius. According to tradition, his reign circa 715 to 673 BCE, Numa revised the Roman Republican calendar so that January replaced March. And I believe this all goes all the way back to
Anywhere I can find the train?
Find the train?
Yeah.
If you go this way and you turn, you go back up, you'll find the train station. Were you trying to get like the C or something? Or the A?
I was trying to get on the E.
On the E?
I gotta get a train to go to the E, right?
Yeah, the E, you gotta go to Penn Station. I think the E goes to Penn Station.
Which one down the street?
Yeah, down the street, down this way.
It's far?
I'd say about 15 minutes. You know, if you go down and you turn, like go over here, you turn and you go like back up, it'll take you straight to the Penn Station.
So just turn that way?
Yeah, turn this way, and then right when you reach like the end of this block, you just turn right back up. So keep walking down here, and you're gonna see like another like food stand. You're just gonna turn left.
You said 50 minutes walk too?
Yeah, so like basically what you're gonna do is down this way, then back up.
Okay.
And it's just go straight, you'll get to Penn Station. Right. It's 15 minutes. Yeah. Just had to help someone out real quick. And so, as we were talking about, it was a fitting choice since January was named after Janus, the Roman god of beginnings. March celebrated Mars, the god of war. Other sources claim that Numa created the month of January. However, there's evidence that January 1st was not made the official start of the Roman year until 153 BCE. Alright. So, you know, of course, it's different for us. BCE, I believe, is different than just normal BC, and things like that. But it's different. It's different for us. I think Julius Caesar's time was like 90 BC or something, like all the way down to like, I don't know, 37 or something like that. I can't really remember. But it was around about that period. So I believe 70 BC, Pompey came down and he took over, what do you call it? He took over Jerusalem, sieged it. So in 46 BC, Julius Caesar introduced more changes, though the Julian calendar, as it became known, retained January 1st as the year's opening date. So you see, the idea of January 1st being New Year's is a completely new creation. There wasn't even such a thing as a January, until recently in history, I want to say. For millennia, there was no January. In the olden time, according to us, the year began when spring came, right? Because the new year is supposed to begin with life. That's the way the Most High had it set up. The new year is supposed to begin with life, but the Julian calendar, the new year begins, you kind of get into the winter, plants start withering off. So the new year begins with death, the death of wildlife and things like that, which is all part of the natural cycle. But it just goes to show you the way of doing things, All the New Year stuff goes back to heathenism, and heathen tradition. It has nothing to do with the scriptures, which, how many times do I have to say it? Do I need to, oh shit, are we lagging? Oh no, we're live. We're live. We put this on Do Not Disturb so we can just lock in here. Yeah, so that was that. First is BCE, right? Julius Caesar introduced more changes though the Julian calendar became known. Between January 1st is the year's opening date. With the expansion of the Roman Empire, the use of the Julian calendar also spread. However, the fall of the Rome in 5th century CE, many Christian countries altered the calendar so that it was more reflective of their religion. On March 31st, the Feast of Annunciation. In January, December 25th, Christmas became common New Year's Day. Right? We know that, the fall, you get the rise of Holy Rome, things like that, Byzantine Empire, which is all us, ruling. Let's look at those photos, Diocletian, the Tetrarchy, and they'll show you. They're all dark-skinned, brown men ruling. Right, the Habsburg shield, the Roman eagle, the Moors, the Moor photos, things like that. Even though they weren't Byzantine, they were still black men in rulership. It later became clear that the Julian calendar required additional changes due to miscalculation concerning leap years. Right, the cumulative effect of this era over the course of several centuries caused various events to take place in the wrong season. It also created problems with determining the date of Easter, which was something else they added on to later on, which is supposed to be Passover. Thus Pope Gregory XIII introduced a revised calendar in 1582. In addition to solving the issue of leap years, the Gregorian calendar was still January 1st as the start of the new year. While Italy, France, and Spain were among countries that immediately accepted the new calendar, the Protestant Orthodox organization was slow to adopt it, right? And then pretty much talks about how America started to follow it in like 1752. As the colonies, time. So yeah, that was pretty much that. We don't need to really go much more into that. We'll get another article in a second, but we're just gonna get a few precepts, and then we'll see where we go. I got quite a few, about 10 or so different things I want to talk about, precepts and things like that. So, 10 is For you brothers out there that by yourself, 10 is round about a good number to get precepts, because just because you get the one verse, you want to start a little bit ahead. So 10 seems to be like a good number for around about an hour lesson, plus articles and things like that. 10 is a good, maybe 15 if it's just like you getting it by yourself, just scriptures and stuff. You're not really going to any articles. Let's see, what did I want to get first? Daniel. Mine was blanking for a second. Let's get that. Alright, so this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. Thus he said, with the angels breaking it down to the prophet Daniel and things like that. That's how the prophets, they would get these visions from the angels. And back then, the prophets did the hard work of writing all the things down. We had scribes and things like that. But the modern day prophets, we break it down by teaching you the scriptures, right? Like it says in Isaiah 30 and 20, that I shall see thy teachers. So that's our duty, is to teach you. That's how he prophesied. So Daniel 7 and 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Right? That's what happened. Right? The fourth beast, Rome, back then, would be incarnated as America. As we all know. Verse 24, and the 10 horns, the 10 kings that shall rise, and at the rise shall be diverse from the first. Hold on. No, this one's talking about America, because it's devoured the whole earth. Slovakia. Oops. Right? This one is talking about America. Earlier on, it talks about Rome, and you gotta get into like 2nd or just 11th chapter. Boy, they really don't like me out here today, man. These people fucking give me these death stares, man. Goddamn. But that's alright. They can stare. As long as they don't try to put hands on me, we're all good. But they try to put the hands on me, then it's a wrestling time, man. I don't know. And they catch these double legs or something. Right? We're just joking around. Daniel 7, 24. And the 10 horns are his kingdom. 10 kings that shall rise, and another shall rise after them. He shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Right? So the 10 horns, we know NATO and the EU, NATO and these EU nations, things like that. Back then it was Rome and its allies. They conquered a lot of these regions around them, originally Japhetic lands, and then they conquered them and they put their own people in there. And then Jake had rulership over them as well. Parts of Gaul, Germania, Britannia, places like that. Suevi, Lombards. At these 10 horns, as kingdom, 10 kings that shall rise, another shall rise after them, which is America. He should be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, right? Which is 3 wars that happened here in America that led to America having its complete rulership, right? It's American Revolution, British, was the French and Indian War, and then the Spanish-American War. That pretty much crystallized America's holdings in this region, right? And other things, Louisiana Purchase and stuff like that. Other things went down that helped it, right? And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and do to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times, and dividing a time. Yeah, and he's speaking great words. Nowadays they're using that for the WEF. Saying that God is dead. Noah Yuval Harari, saying God is dead. He wants to hack humanity. Do biohacking. These are things that are pushed forth by politicians because our politicians are joined up with the WEF, even though it's within the American law that our leaders aren't supposed to be meeting up with foreign diplomats, unless certain key things are met, key requirements are met. So that's against the law. The fact that our leaders are at Bilderberg meetings and all these different secret meetings. Some are recorded, some are not. It just goes to show you, that they've infiltrated, our Congress and our leaders, our so-called leaders. They're not my leaders. I'm not gonna trust them. I'm not gonna believe in the stuff they say, and I'm not gonna, follow the stuff that they tell me to. I follow certain things, but I'm not following everything. If it breaks the law, I'm not doing it.
One drop.
Right. So that was that, right? And then when we talk about here, things change times and laws, should be given to his hand into a time and dividing of time. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They change times and laws. And that's what they did just now. Not just now, but over the years with the having New Year's. They changed the date of when the New Year is supposed to begin. I'm not gonna really go all the way into our to the scriptures for us, because the first month, the New Year, starts at a different time every month because we use a lunar calendar. We go off of new moons and things like that. We use a lunar calendar as the scriptures tell us to do so. Right? That's in the book of Sirach. This is Isaiah 25. This is Isaiah 25. Let's see. It's 24. Yeah, we'll just start from the top. The point is Isaiah 24, like 7, but we'll just start from the top. This is the book of Isaiah 24 and 1. O the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with the master, as with the as the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with the mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, with the taker usury, and so with the giver usury. Right? The land shall be utterly emptied, utterly spoiled, for the Lord has spoken it. Right? And that's going to happen to America. The whole land is going to be destroyed. It's not going to be dwelt in for generation to generation. That's another person laughing at me. That's all right. All right, Isaiah 13. All right, goes into it. Jeremiah 50 goes into it. I believe the same thing maybe in Jeremiah 51 and maybe in Jeremiah 49. And then also the same thing is written in Revelation 18. So it's all over the place. Right? Well, also it's in a lot of places. They made Revelation 16 as well. Right? The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the world do languish. Right? And that's everything. The whole world is mourning and fading away. And music is at an all-time low. Art, writing, everything is on a low vibration and at a low level, at a completely lower level. And there's an easy way you can prove that is by everything that goes on in this society, every single form of entertainment. You have something called a golden age. If the society was really a well-run society, then the golden age would be now. But right now, I'm going to be honest, it's a dark age in terms of everything. And we really want to go into it. The world languished and mourned when that pandemic came. When you had that pandemic depression. And depression became a big thing that happened in society. The people didn't know what to do. We had no order, and that's going to get worse as time goes on. It's going to come back. When these famines and these things come down to these countries. All right. Earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they had transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. right? And that's what our leaders have done. They don't care about the laws. They don't care about the covenants. The covenant's not for them. They don't follow the laws. They break all the laws. They change things. They add in heathen nonsense, into the scriptures. Which really started with Jake doing that nonsense, going back to the Council of Nicaea and things like that. But they took that shit and they ran with it. And now we got stuff today where New Year's, which is a Babylonian custom, celebrating the New Year's. We didn't celebrate no New Year's. We celebrate Passover, things like that, but we don't celebrate no New Year's. And Passover doesn't even start until I want to say February 23rd, I believe. I think it's the 15th, 12th to 15th day of the first month we start Passover, because this 12th month is about to begin January 10th to the 11th. So Sunday, was it Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown will be next new moon, right? And that's then you count those days when you get the Passover.
So also
and you count those days, you get 13th and stuff like that. You get the Purim, which is January 23rd to the 25th. January 23rd at evening to January 25th at evening, which those aren't Sabbath days. Those are you're festive. You eat things like that. You read the book of Esther. You maybe read it a few times during that time. You really think about that. It's kind of hard to be festive when you're by yourself, but I don't know. I'll figure something out. But you think about that. But you're not all the way festive or whatever. You're still in captivity, right? So we went into those. What else did I have lined up? It's not rant here too long. Psalm 49:11. But yeah, that's what they did. Changed laws, changed ordinances, changed everything, man. Changed everything.
È bella, molto bella. Sì.
This is 11. This is net. Excel. That's not it. So that's 30. This isn't it. This will plug it. I'm certain that this would be it. Let's see if I'm wrong. Let's see.
There's a little like box wrapped up sitting on my desk.
Alright. We'll just get it. Because I don't know my Roman numerals. We can just get this the old or the new way. Because I don't know Roman numerals that high. I thought I knew it, but I don't. That's alright. As you can see, no King James spam, none of that. No King James spamming over here. I'm not going into it too long. Just get into the basics. Here we go. So this is the book of Psalm 49:11. We can go start up a little bit ahead. Psalm 49:6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of riches, none of them by any means can redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. right? So, yeah. Verse 7, right, in NLT, they cannot redeem themselves from death by paying a ransom to the Most High. You know, they can't save themselves or anyone else with material wealth. Angels don't want that. You know, you can't pay no angel. You know, you can't pay no angel. They're not gonna want no ransom in those days. You know, when the death angels come, hunt your ass down. Because all that stuff goes down in the spirit world and stuff like that, and you got certain things where they can put a spirit of vengeance on someone or jack someone up, right? Let me get this. Verse 8, for the redemption of the soul is precious, and it ceases forever, right? NLT, redemption does not come so easily, for no one can ever pay enough, right? That he should still live forever and not see the grave, right? So, right, redemption doesn't come so ever, it comes so easily, so no one can ever pay enough to live forever and never see the grave, right? You can't pay no amount of money will ever make you be immortal. You know, the elites, you know, Noel, Yuval Harari, guys like that, they're trying to do biohacking, find out a way to make people live forever, but it's impossible. It's never going to happen. The Lord is going to let that happen. Right? We see if that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish and leave their wealth to others. Right? And that's why King Solomon, you know, I don't know if King David wrote this one exactly. Scroll up. Oh, God damn it, I closed it. For descendants, for sons of Korah. I don't think King David, I don't believe King David may have wrote this one. But that's alright. Okay. It was the same thing that King Solomon always talked about as well. You know, he always spoke on, you know, vanity is vanity, life is vanity, this is vanity, fighting for all this wealth is vanity. You know, he came later on in the flesh as, you know, Yahushua and things like that. And he said the same thing in Matthew 6. So it just shows you that he's the same person, the reincarnation. Right? Verse 11, the inward thought is that the houses shall continue forever, and the dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Right? And that's what happened, you know? That's what these elites think. They think that, you know, oh, I'm going to live forever. You know, that my land, my rulership is going to be forever. You know, they call their lands after themselves. So we got like Rockefeller, Lincoln, there's a Lincoln Center and stuff like that. You know, there's a Vanderbilt Avenue, stuff like that. So many stuff. And it's like all these streets are named after, you know, so-called great men, but they all own slaves. You know, so they all torturing our people to death, you know. So no, they're not great. They're all wicked, you know. So-called white men has no hero. Heroes are all evil. Every last one. The Rothschilds are all evil. All of them are all evil. Fucking J.P. Morgan, all of them, they're all evil. They're all wicked, you know. See, our people, we have heroes, you know. Now our heroes weren't always right in the right mind, but at least we have people, you know, to look forward to or look up to, which I don't look up to them. I look up to the scriptures, which really are, you know, our people, but our people don't know that. But I'm saying on a surface level, on a carnal level, at least we have guys that were fighting, you know, slavery, guys that were freeing slaves, you know, maroons, you know, stuff like that. We have those people to look up to, Makandal, Toussaint Louverture, you know, stuff like that, guys like that were fighting against oppression. You know, what do you Edomites have fighting against oppression? You are the oppressors. You know, you are the oppressors. So you have no heroes. Your heroes are all oppressors. You know, murderers, killers, murderers of children. You know, our people, we have, you know, heroes that were getting revenge. Heroes of old, like it talks about in Genesis the 6th chapter. So That was that. Did I say Joel 49? Maybe I meant to say 41. Says there is no Joel 49 and 5. What did I get there? Alright. That's alright. I don't exactly remember which one this is, but we can go into this one. Yeah, we'll start here. This is Revelation 12 and 10. I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ, the anointed. Right? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. Which is what they do. They make us go off, and they say, oh, look. They're the ones that going off. You know, that's what oppressors do. That so-called white man. You know, go to Psalm 83. You know, that's our oppressor, our enemy. Alright? He's our enemy. We're not friends, we're not equals, we're not buddies, we never will be. Alright? So-called, you know, that's an enemy. Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, that's your enemy. You guys aren't equals. You kick his ass in just about every sport. You know, MMA, you know, MMA, you guys get your ass beat by those Russians because you guys are fucking playing around and not training hard enough. I don't know, man. You guys gotta get your bench press up or something. You guys get your ass beat by them. In other sports, you guys be dominant. Right? Revelation 12 and 11, they overcame them by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives to the death. And that's right, and that's what we're doing. You know, we're practicing that right now. That's gonna be some of us, you know, because some of us will pass on. But we're not gonna love our lives, even if we don't get martyred, right? What's it of love? Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, for to have the earth and the sea, the devils come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that ye have but a short time, right? And that's what it is, you know. Esau's gonna come down on us, on our people, and upon everyone. Because he knows he has a short time. So that's what it is about this new year. This is a reminder to Esau, Edom, that, you know, his time is coming short. You know, they had to move things back. What they have, Agenda 2040, which I think is now Agenda 2030 now or something like that. So they're moving quick with their, you know, 15-minute cities agenda. You know, the agenda, you know, demasculinization, you know, feminization of males. You know, that's what they're moving to. And they're moving quick with it because they know that their time is coming short, and you only got so much time, but you know, handle all this stuff. You know. So that's that. So this is history.co.uk. Right, the ancient origins of New Year celebrations. So, go into this now. Right, so you read on down. Akitu, the ancient Babylonians were among the first civilizations to have a record of the New Year celebration. Still celebrated today. Records of Akitu can date back over 4,000 years. I don't know if that's how you properly say it. I'm definitely pronouncing it wrong. I don't really care. Right? Well, Akitu can be roughly translated from Sumerian to barley. The festival didn't just observe the sowing of the first crop of the new year. It served a far more politically important cause, concerning with the mythical scarred god Marduk's victory over the sea god Tiamat. Right? Like I mentioned yesterday, you know, if you watch it, if you want to, you don't have to. You know, I'm not saying anything that's wild. But you know, all that stuff goes back to these games or whatever. These games take a lot of this heat and stuff, and they make, you know, games out of it. You know, like Final Fantasy. You know, they got them boss, Tiamat. Maybe probably have a summon in a later game. You know, I haven't played Final Fantasy in a hot minute, and I'm not a super avid gamer, man. I'm just focusing on working and getting money and just trying to survive day to day, man. I ain't trying to, you know, I don't play too much games like that, man. I just want to get to the day and get the hell out of this country, man. You know what I mean? Like there's a time of the year when a new king will be crowned by the high priest, or the current region will humble themselves before the gods to simply renew their rule for another year. Right, so this is what New Year's comes from. It comes from a Babylonian tradition. You know, coming back over 4,000 years ago. The festival was celebrated over 12 days with different traditions and events throughout its durations. Observation ranged from special prayers and times of reflection to communal feasts, and even a bizarre display where the high priest would slap the king to show his humility before God. And so all kinds of witchcraft, humiliation rituals, and stuff would go down. Right, we can go to this one too. January, celebrating the start of the new year on the vernal equinox, the early Roman calendar that was only 304 days long and had only 10 months, right, which they were way behind. We had 12 months going all the way back, you know, in the scriptures, all the way back to the beginning. We already had 12 months. It was all set up perfectly and went off those new moons. Right? As centuries passed, it became clear the calendar wasn't quite right. As we started to fall out of sync with the sun, determined to find a solution, Julius Caesar consulted with mathematicians and astronomers to devise a suitable solution, the Julian calendar. And I believe he consulted some Egyptians about that and stuff like that, so they say. Another symbol to the Gregorian calendar that is used worldwide today, the Julian calendar moved the start of the new year to January 1st to recognize the god Janus, who's the god of change, transition, and new beginnings. Typical ways Romans would celebrate the new year included exchanging goodwill and wishing with their friends and neighbors for the new year ahead, exchanging small gifts of figs and honey and burning offerings of spelt and salt on altars. Alright, so all the New Year stuff goes back to ancient pagan Roman and pagan, traditions. But in this society, this is something that you're not told. I've been through the schooling system, and I did pretty well in the schooling system. Not to toot my own horns, but I'm just making a fact because I was paying attention and I was never taught any of this nonsense. I did pretty good in school, and they never, not once, did they ever teach me this stuff. I learned and I searched up their own nonsense, learned more of it and whatever. And not once did they ever go into this kind of things and say that New Year's was a heathen tradition. I had no idea. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time, every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to reap up, to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Right? And right now with the society, everything's falling apart. Inflation's high, food prices are high, oil is high, gas, all that stuff is high. Things that in society that used to be like $1 are now $2, $2.50. People, they eat it all up. Everything here is expensive. You gotta work 2 or 3 jobs to stay afloat. Rent, even in projects, it's fucking $2,000. So, you know what I mean? Like this shit is fucked. It's fucked. It's so bad, you know. So people are looking up, you know, and they're saying, "Oh man, my New Year's resolution this." No, this isn't no time to, you know, try to have no New Year's resolution. Society's falling apart. You know, you should be looking to, you know, the average person should honestly be looking to try to stockpile supplies or something, or try to hide out for the race war or something, or try to do something, you know. But everyone is just focused on having fun. You know, meanwhile, you know, the whole society around you is falling apart. You know, money for the city jobs are all gone. You know what? New York City budget they had to cut. You know, so no more overtime. A lot of the city jobs aren't allowing guys to have overtime like that. So, hey, the society is falling down. You know, and you know, as we always go into, those that wander the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. These people, they're spiritually dead. You know, they're just in the world, doing the whole worldly stuff, whatever they do. You know, and that's it. I don't know, fight, get locked up or something, and you know, once they get locked up, cry about being locked up. You know what I mean? Damn, I can also go into that as well. "46 and 7. Alright, this is the book of Isaiah 46 and 1. Baal bowed down, Nebo stooped up. The idols were upon the beast and upon the cattle. The carriages were heavy loaded. There are burdens, the weary beasts. They stoop, they bow down together. They could not deliver the burden, but themselves are gone up to captivity." Alright, so all those idols people worship, they go down to captivity with them. You know? So yeah, the idols of Babylon could not save them. So as with ancient Babylon, you know, the same thing doesn't happen here. You know, your idols aren't going to save you. You know, which for this Babylon, America, the idols aren't going to be taken away. They're not going to be taken captive. This whole land right here is going to get hit by ICBMs, and that's not something that's too crazy. It's not a really wild statement in these times. You know, if you've been paying attention to Biden's inflammatory foreign policy, you know. So he's now trying to cool shit off, but yeah, it's not happening. They're not playing around now. We're fighting the Houthi groups in Yemen and stuff like that, which that's going to be a forever war. You know, they're not going to smash those guys. You know, they're fighting with Iraq, the Iran-backed groups in Iraq. You know, so America's spread thin. It's only going to be a matter of time before, you know, things really come down. Which the nearest thing is probably going to be China making a move on Taiwan. Verse 3, "Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born from me, from the belly, which are carried from the womb." Right? What's to tell you? The Lord is only speaking to his people, the house of Israel. Jacob, you know Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, I was having a brain fart moment for a second. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, before Abraham, you have the chosen seed line going back from Shem. You know, and you go down there, and you know, eventually get him. It's Peleg, Ru. You know, was it Terah? You know, over time. I'm skipping around, but you know. Verse 4, "And even to your old age I am he, and even to the whole years will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear, and I will carry, and I will deliver you. To whom you liken me, and make me equal, and compare me, that we may be alike." Right? Exactly. There's no one. There's no other God, no other thing you can worship in this world that is quite like, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you know? Like, you know, like the Lord Yahweh. There's nothing that compares, nothing in this world. Right? Because all these other guys, they're no gods. You know? Yahweh is real, man. You know? You could actually feel it, man. Like the spirit, things like that. When you're in it. Right? Verse 6, they lavish gold out of the bag, and weigh silver in the balance, and hire a goldsmith, and he maketh it a god, and they fall down, and yea, they worship. All right, and that's what happens, right? They take gold out of a bag. That's how things were done back then. People would sell things using actual gold, so you had to have like a wheelbarrow, and carry your gold around. You would have a scale. You would weigh out your gold or your silver, and you had like an agreed upon weight. That, okay, this is worth this pounds of silver and things like that, and then you would exchange the silver for the good. And then there could be no inflation, no artificial bloating of the money, or things like that, because it was just what you had. Now famines and stuff like that will then just make the gold and stuff, all that stuff, worthless essentially, because people want food. What good is the things when you can't even when there's so little food, the prices are gonna be really high. No one's gonna give up their stuff. Right? Verse 7, they bear him upon the shoulder, they carry him and set him in his place, and he standeth. From his place shall he not remove. Yea, one shall cry unto him, yet can he not answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Alright, so you people, that celebrating these New Year's, are really worshiping the Roman god Janus. They're really worshiping ancient Babylonian pagan traditions when we celebrate these holidays, New Year's and stuff like that. And the thing is that we have our own holy days. We have Puerto, things like that, destruction of Nicanor, which isn't on our calendar. I don't know why, but maybe I'll ask a question because I think Purim is the 14th and the 15th. I believe destruction Nicanor might be the 13th. I'll ask one of these days, or I'll just send a message or this comment section one day and ask do we keep Nicanor, things like that. Just an honest question. I don't know. But yeah, it's not in the right spirit to be in, right? Because all these idols and these stuff worship, they will not save them. Right? And we're just gonna get the last one. And then this could be my last thing that I'm gonna get. And then we're gonna close out. Get out of here. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 14. We'll start here as Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12. For the dividing of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. Alright, because that's what it is. The people, they corrupt life by creating these idols, worshiping the air, worshiping the sky, the stars, and things like that. Things that aren't supposed to be worshipped. They're corrupting very ancient knowledge. That's what pagans do. Yeah, that's windy. That's alright. We're gonna get ready to close out anyway, so that's okay. As long as this doesn't fall down, I'm all good. I could take anything, as long as this doesn't fall. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. By the vainglory of men they have entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child soon taken away, now honoreth him as the God, was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images was worshipped by the commandments of kings. And that's what happened, that these gods, these things, they were created out of nowhere, and they became worshipped as gods. right? Whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visage from afar and made an express image of the king whom they honored, to the end by their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present, right? And that's what happened. You know, these gods who have little trinkets and things like that, you know, small little idols that people could carry along with them so that they could continue to worship them even when they were far off from like the altars and the heathen temples, the groves and the stuff like that, you know. And you got to get into, you know, the account of the Maccabees, you know, when the certain of those soldiers died, of our people, rebels died, you know, the ones that died always had idols on them. It always shows you know, they weren't protected, right? Verse 16, verse 17, verse 18. Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition, right? And this is how art can be used to, you know, in a wrong way. You know, art is a beautiful thing. Art is to shock people, you know, make you feel good, you know. Art can set moods, things like that, you know. We did our little things in art back in the days. We made pottery and gold and artificers. Remember, it was the artificers and guys that would set up the things for the menorahs and things like that. So yeah, don't shit on artists, man. Don't say, oh, they're all heathen or something, you know. Because all that stuff is art. It's a form of art. Right? We peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the semblance of the best fashion. And so the multitude, the Lord, by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored as a man. Exactly, and that's what happened. They take these men and they make them as gods. That's always been seen. The Babylonians have been doing, worshiping these kings, bowing towards them like they're gods, you know? And they're just new gods. They're just gods they created out of nowhere. Poof. Like Alexander, they worshipped him. In Alexandria, Egypt, you know? Boom, he's a god now, you know? Oh, he's the child of Zeus or some shit. You know, a bunch of baloney, you know? Zeus, all that stuff was made in the image of Jake's. You know, it's all Jake started all that nonsense. You know, heroes of old, Genesis 6. You know, they've always been heroes and stuff, right? Verse 21, and this was the occasion to see the world for men, serving either calamity or tyranny, did ascribe unto stones and stocks the uncommunicable name, right? So what the people started to do is that when they made these gods, they started worshiping the gods, you know, they were doing things that they should have name. I'll say it again. So when people start to do things for these other gods that they should have only been doing for the incommunicable God, you know, for the incommunicable name. It means a name that can't be transferred, can't be replicated, can't be duplicated, can never be changed. You know, it's a special name. You know, and that name is going to be refreshed on the planet Earth very soon. It's got that new name. You know, that vibration of Yahweh, Yahushua, it's got that fearful, you know, furious, powerful vibration. You know, as it had, you know, in the olden days, people feared. And nowadays, you know, people they just say, "Oh, you're wrong. It's Jehovah. It's Jehovah. It's this. It's Yahweh ben Yahweh, or Yehuda, or whatever the hell that guy says. What's his name? Spiritual food or whatever his name is. Or what's that guy's name? He used to be in GMS. Now he's a bug out. Was it Life Lessons? I think it was Life Lessons, but you know, he became a bug out, made up some name. So that's pretty much that. So we're gonna say Panya Hakadam, you know, face the east. We're gonna say Kalaymo Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Allah Kakadash. And I'm pretty much done here. And I'm gonna say Shalom to all the brothers. Shalom. Let's go.